All right, guys, we're going to take a look at the global app patch notes for the week here. I heard some really big node war changes here, so we're going to work our way through these. I don't really know what to expect. It says node war revamp. Just to be clear, I'm not sure that NA and EU are actually getting these changes. I would love confirmation from Perlibis either way on whether or not we're getting these particular changes. They did come out and tell us last time that we were not going to be getting the 2 hour to 1 hour change for node wars, which was good. I think that's an objective win for us. I'm hoping that we also don't get these, but we'll see what they have to offer us here. All right, since it was first added to the Black Desert world, Node War, which was experienced in big and small changes, experienced big and small changes with adventurers, is about to change once more. The Node War reorganization focused on easing the difficulty of preparation, active and healthy battles, and convenience. Accordingly, we expect that the revamped Node War will change in a way that allows lighter preparations for fiercer battles. Oh boy. We plan to listen to the opinions of adventurers in the various regions. Okay. And make changes in the newly reorganized Node War. Black Desert Node War is content enjoyed by many adventurers as it has a long history. So it will provide you a more interesting Node War. Okay, so that implies, I'll be honest with you guys, this right here, that scares me. That we might get these changes then. They might be talking about KR, Japan, and Asia servers, you know, SA, but like, that's kind of scary. And again, I'll try to figure out if I can get Perlibus to post on the forums or something so that we can clear this up, like whether or not we are going to get these changes or like whether they're intending to come to NA or EU, etc. But it looks like we're going to have to hold a United Nations podcast, guys. I'll call together all of the Korean streamers, the Asia streamers, the EU, NA obviously will be represented. I'll try to pull as many as I can. I'll try to even get SA in there as well. We'll all come together and try to talk about these changes because this is kind of a big deal for the game. This looks like they put together
안녕하세요, MC 레이라.
A video. So let's take a look at what they've got here, guys. I'm actually gonna move my camera so that I don't block the subtitles. We're gonna move up here, guys.
검은 사막 길드 PVP 콘텐츠 검은 사막 거점전 그 거점전에 대해서 알려드리려고 하는데요.
I love how they had Layla do this. They know their audience.
그럼 거점전 가이드 시작해 볼까요?
Everybody loves Layla, man. It's tough not to love Layla.
거점전이란 길드 혹은 연맹 단위로 펼쳐지는 대규모 오픈월드 PVP로 모험가 여러분들이 평소에 모험을 즐겨주시는 검은 사막 월드의 곳곳에서 주요 거점의 소유권을 두고 벌어지는 길드 간 전쟁 콘텐츠입니다. 모험가님의 길드원들과 함께 호흡을 맞춰 거점의 성체를 점령하고 지켜내.
That still has flame towers and like flag factories and stuff, so.
승리 보상과 함께 검은 사막.
These are current Node War shots, guys. This is like current stuff.
길드 명예를 드높여 보세요. 검은 사막의 거점전은 점령전이 열리는 토요일을 제외한 일요일부터 금요일까지 매 21시부터 22시까지 1시간 동안 진행됩니다.
Hold on, let me pull out my pen. No, like, I do just want to state for the record, like, how convenient. What a convenient time to have Node Wars. We don't know why anyone won't participate in our Node Wars.
그렇다면 검은 사막의 거점전 어떻게 참여할 수 있을까요? 거점전은 길드의 참여 신청,
I know it's converted. I know, but it's
영지 확정, 길드원의 참여 신청 순으로 이루어지는데요. 우선 참여 신청부터 알아볼까요? 거점전에 참여하기 위해서는 참여하고자 하는 거점전의 당일부터 거점전 시작 1시간 전까지 길드의 대장 또는 연맹의 연맹장이 거점전 메뉴를 통해 참여하실 영지를 선택해 신청할 수 있습니다.
Okay, so okay, all right, so this actually clears up a lot of confusion. These are the number of participants in the Node War, guys, and you can see that it's really, you're not picking a region so much as you're picking the number of participants that you have. Okay, so you can drop on the 100-man, the 70, or the 35. Balano, Serenity are the 35. Looks like Medaya and Valencia are the 70. And Calpheon and Kama Sylvia are the 100 bands.
거점전 참여 영지를 선택하는 UI에서 대장 또는 연맹장님이 신청 가능한 그룹은 발레노스와 세렌디아, 칼피온과 카마실비아, 메디아와 발렌시아로 나뉘어 있습니다. 이 중 각 영지 그룹은 각각 동투발라 장비 공방압 550, 공방압 685 수준의 장비.
Some have a maximum, so they're changing the caps for Node War. So it looks like 550 will be this. I'm not sure what this is translated to, but this looks like it might be like a T1, T2. And then like this is the second cap. I don't see where's like the T3 T. Are we losing a cap? So we're literally jumping from T1 to 685. Oh no, dude, that's not good.
그리고 무제한급으로 최대 능력치가 제한되니까요. 모험가 여러분들의 길드에 맞게 신청하신다면 더 치열한 전투.
Oh god, if that's true, guys, that's really bad. Like, the whole point of having like stepwise node wars and like cap node wars before was that like you start off in T1, T2 with Tuvala, right? I'll make it smaller. There we go. Then you step up to T3, and this is like 620 gear score. This is like a reasonable jump, right, guys? Then T4 was like 650 or so gear score. And then T5 was uncapped. Now, I would agree that they needed to... here, I'll move this over here. They needed to reduce the amount of caps in like Node War in general. But I don't understand why you wouldn't literally just... If you want to have it capped, you can do like T1, T2, like Tuvala. And then like... I don't know. Like, I felt like the Node War system was fine. I felt like Siege having different caps than Node War was obnoxious. Like, Siege should have been like... Balano, Serendia, Valencia, right? Like the T... This would be like the lower cap Siege. This would be like the upper cap Siege. That way you always have like the same caps no matter what. It's not as confusing for players. Like less caps is good, right? Or alternatively, you could just do AOS War. You could just do like AOS gear. The game just gives you gear, right? Like boom, there you go. And then everything has AOS caps. You can start out T1, T2, and then go to AOS gear and then be an uncapped. But like, I don't like this very much either because, like, I don't know. I like the stepwise function that they had before. I felt like it was like a reasonable jumping stone for like players that were like at different stages of the progression. I think that removing that altogether is just really bad, but we'll see. I would agree that there are too many caps for Node War and Siege, though.
거점전에 참여 신청을 완료했다면 거점전이 시작되기 15분 전에 신청 결과가 발표됩니다. 발레노스 또는 세렌디아 영지 그룹에 참여를 신청하셨다면 이 중 무작위로 하나.
Yeah, not to mention, guys, it looks like that, and this is another bad thing. It looks like that if you go back to this picture right here, this is the 550 gear score cap, this is the 685 gear score cap, and this is the uncapped cap. So like, here's the thing: everyone's gonna try to be dropping on like either this or this. Like how, like guilds can't pull 70 people to Node War. I'm going to tell you right now, in EU, there are like 5 or 6 guilds maybe that can pull 70 people. And like, I might be being generous. In NA, there's like maybe 3. Okay. But like everyone's going to be on this cap or lower. And the guilds that can pull 100, like maybe they're like a newer returning player. Like what's a new and returning player guild supposed to do? Like a T1 guild that can pull 50 people. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to bench half your guild? Like, because you can't go here, you'll just get completely demolished. You field everybody, but like you just die immediately. Here, you can only field half your guild. Like, this is bad. This is bad. They've tried to do stuff like this before. This is just not a good idea.
이 중 무작위로 하나의 영지에 참여가 확정됩니다. 이후 거점전에 참여할 영지가 정해졌다면 해당 영지의 이름의 거점전 진행 서버, 예를 들어 세렌디아 1 채널로 이동 후 참여 버튼을 눌러 거점전에 참여할 수 있습니다. 참여 버튼을 통해 거점전에 참여 신청을 완료했다면 음식을 먹어 버프를 획득하거나 마을 근처에 은화 버프를 받는 등 전투를 준비해보세요.
Okay, yeah.
길드 자금을 통해
Sure.
부속 건물을
This is just going over the standard buffs. If you guys want to see stuff like this, I wrote like the guide on the official Black Desert channel for like buffing for Node War. So it's like the Node War handbook, or you can do !Node War guide.
건설해서 전략적으로 활용하거나 대포를 건설해 상대 부속 건물을 효과적으로 파괴하고자 한다면 마을의 길드 군수품 관리인을 통해 부속 건물 건설 도구, 린치 대포 조립 세트를 구매하는 것도 좋습니다.
This is telling because like we thought that they were going to remove cannons from the game. So the fact that they showed cannons and the fact that you can still buy cannons is probably a good thing, in my opinion.
건설 도구, 린치 대포 조립 세트를 구매하는 것도 좋습니다. 그리고 야영지는 거점전 진행 중에도 사용할 수 있도록 변경되어 버프 수급이나 장비 수리를 바로 진행할 수 있게 됐다는 점 기억하세요.
Wait, what? Campsite can now be... So you can use your tent during Node Wars? Wait, that means there's no need for a supply depot anymore? You don't have to worry about repairing your gear. And you can re-villa, sure, but like you don't need to re-villa. You just take the 5-hour one anyway with your dick hanging out. It's like whatever.
에도 사용할 수 있도록 변경되어 버프 수급이나 장비 수리를 바로 진행할 수 있게 됐다는 점 기억하세요. 거점전 시작 10분 전, 거점전이 진행되는 서버에서
10 minutes before?
화면 우측 상단에 자 모여라 기능이 활성화됩니다. 이 버튼을 누르면 모험가 여러분은 거점전이 진행되는 지역 인근 마을로
This is good. This is a W change. This should have happened a long time ago. Guys, essentially what's happening here is now instead of taking the teleport at the start of war, everybody gets TP'd at the start of war. It will now appear 10 minutes before the Node War starts. This is really good because like I think they've realized that it crashes their server to have that many people taking the TP at the same time like this. So like it also allows guilds to like position ahead of time and stuff. I think it's very good. It does look like it takes you to town now and not to your fort, which is interesting. But like it does mean that like it alleviates some of the stress from the servers. People will take the TP at different times now.
즉시 이동되는데요. 빠르게 길드원들과 모일 수 있는 이 기능을 통해 다 같이 모여 작전을 준비하고 다 함께 출발할 수 있습니다. 거점전이 시작되면 모험가 여러분이 참여한 거점전 영지에 함께 참가한 다른 길드 수에 따라 거점전 성체가 활성화됩니다. 또한 매 거점전마다
Now I have to rewatch this because okay, as Node War
모험가 여러분이 참여한 거점전 영지에 함께 참가한 다른 길드 수에 따라 거점전 성체가 활성화됩니다. 또한 매 거점전마다 활성화되는 거점 성체의 위치도 달라집니다. 처음에는 그 누구의 소유도 아닌 중립 성체지만 먼저 성체의 내구도를 모두 소모시켜 성체를 파괴하는 것으로 해당 성체를 점령할 수 있는
Okay. So what's going to happen, guys, is you're going to be teleported to like a nearby town before the Node War starts, and you'll get to position ahead of time. But you don't have a fort anymore. You don't have a base to build or anything. You're basically, when the Node War starts, there's going to be a lot of unclaimed forts that look like this, that don't belong to any guild. And you have to go and you have to kill them, and then you claim them.
인데요. 성체를 점령한 뒤에는 참여한 다른 길드의 공격을 막아내는 것이 주요 목표가 됩니다.
Oh, can you be attacked while you're trying to kill the fort? Like, what happens if you don't claim a fort? All right, let her talk.
활성화된 성체들에는 참여 길드 수에 따라 최소 10분에서
Yeah, see, we don't have the 10 to 60 minutes thing, guys, so it might be like I don't know if we're gonna get this. We don't have this 10 to 60 minutes thing here yet.
최대 60분까지 정해진 종료 시간이 있는데요. 이는 월드맵에서도 각 성체의 위치와 종료 시간을 확인하실 수 있습니다. 거점전에서 승리하기 위해서는 성체를 점령한 길드가 종료 시간이 모두 지날 때까지 성체
Okay. So you basically just have to conquer the unconquered forts, guys, and then you just have to hold on to it until you can only looks like you can only claim one fort anyway, so you can just hold on to it until the end. Which begs the question, if there's not enough guilds to like compete for forts, then why would you ever fight each other? Am I crazy? Like, look, like this one has a 15-minute timer, this one has a 30-minute timer. If both guilds claim those, why would you not just stand here? I don't know, we'll see.
위치와 종료 시간을 확인하시고.
Like if there's only 2 guilds on the node, let's say there's only 4 guilds on this node, guys. Okay, there's 4 forts. There's one here. Okay, if guild 1 holds this one, guild 2 holds this one, guild 3 holds this one, and guild 4 over here holds this one, why should they fight each other? Like they're all gonna get a node anyway. It's very strange.
수 있습니다. 거점전에서 승리하기 위해서는 성체를 점령한 길드가 종료 시간이 모두 지날 때까지 성체를 지켜내야 승리할 수 있습니다. 거점전에서 승리하면 해당 거점을 최종으로 점령하게 되며 보상을 받고 거점전에서 퇴장합니다. 종료 시간까지 성체를 지켜내지 못했거나 성체를 아직 점령하지 못한 길드는 남아있는 성...
Okay, so the only fighting that's actually going to happen here is the weak, like all the strong guilds are going to take a fort, and then the weak guilds are just going to get farmed for the next X amount of minutes or just leave because they can't take a fort. Am I crazy? Or is that obviously what's going to happen? Like, let's say that there's 6 guilds on node. Okay, the 2 weakest guilds are immediate. Like, they might take a thing, but like they're just going to lose it immediately and then not be able to do anything. We'll see.
성체들은 종료 시간이 다가오기 이전에 또다시 성체를 점령하기 위해 치열하게 전투에 참여해야 합니다. 성체들 중에는 종료 시간을 알 수 없는 물음표 성체도 존재하는데요. 이 성체는
Oh, okay. So some have a question mark.
언제 종료될지 표시되지 않은 성체로 종료 시간이 모두 지나 성체를 수여하게 되면 다른 성체보다 더 큰
Okay, so if you control the random ones, you get to fight the entire time and get the most rewards. So Cho Nation gets this one. This is Conquer gets this one, guys. It's fine.
보상을 획득할 수 있는 성체입니다. 따라서 종료 시간이 곧 다가오는 성체를 노려 치열하게 공격하거나 종료 시간을 알 수 없는 성체를 점령하고 꾸준히 지켜 큰 보상을 획득하는 등의 다양한 전략을 고민해 볼 수 있겠죠. 거점전에서는 다른 길드의 모험가와 전투 중 사망하게 돼도 사망 이후에 부활할 마을을 직접 선택해서 부활할 수 있어 빠르게 그리고 전략적으로 합류할 수 있습니다.
Okay, so it's only town spawn now. You can't spawn at the fort?
그리고 빠른 합류를 위해 아주 중요한 탑승물인 말도 함께 부활하도록 변경됩니다.
Okay, mount spawns with you. So again, okay, so there are no supply depots. I don't actually see any annexes, guys. It's just the stick itself. There's no annexes or anything. Why would they show cannons earlier?
거점전에서 활용되는 부속 건물과 공성 병기는 크게
okay.
부속 건물.
Okay, all right. Annexes, siege weapons, guild mounts, and outposts.
공성 병기와 길드 탑승물, 전진 기지로 나눌 수 있는데요. 부속 건물은 말의 길드 군수품 상인에게 구매한 부속 건물 건설 도구로 거점전 지역 어디에서나 건설할 수 있습니다. 다만 건물을 설치할 때 길드 자금이 일정량 소모되니 보다 신중하고 전략적인
Why do you need to? Why are you buying this? Why do you need that?
위치에 설치하는 것이 좋습니다. 부속 건물 건설 도구는 가방에서 우클릭으로 사용 가능하고 별도 UI로 진입하지 않고 원하는 건물을 바로 선택해서 건설할 수 있습니다. 화면에서 바로 움직이면서 설치할 장소를 정할 수 있으니 주변의 상황을 잘 보고 신중하게 건설해야겠죠? 이중 화염탑과 신기전은 직접 모험가가 탑승해서 조작하는 부속 건물로 화염탑은 가까운 적에게 넓은 범위의 강력한 화염 공격을
Okay, so you have to take control of the neutral fort and then slam down all your annexes immediately and try to defend it.
신기전은 곡사형 사격을 통해 넓은 범위의 적에게 강력한 화살 공격을 가할 수 있습니다. 탑승 이후에 사용되는 화염탑용 기름과 신기정용 화살 역시 길드 군수품 관리인에게 구매할 수 있습니다. 다른 부속 건물인 코끼리 사육소는
It did look a little weird. Like this doesn't look like they're anywhere near a fort. So can you just place them anywhere on the fort and like siege an enemy fort with your Hawacha? Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. That's let's back up for a minute. So like this the fort here. They place their Hawacha over here, right? It's the Hawacha, okay? Like this their Hawacha, all right? Then you guys are like, all right, well, we're just gonna put our Hawacha here. And we're just gonna shoot your fort to death. Because your Hawacha can't reach ours. But ours can reach your fort. That's interesting. That means you have to be scouting. You can technically prevent that. I actually think that's kind of cool. I think it means you have to int structures less. I actually think that's a W change, guys. Like, overall, I think that's probably a win. I'm not really sure, but I think that's a win. The fact that you have to spawn at town, though, makes it really hard to defend a fort.
강력한 화살 공격을 가할 수 있습니다.
Unless you can spawn at the fort. They didn't explicitly say you can spawn at the fort or not, so I'm not sure.
탑승 이후에 사용되는 화염탑용 기름과 신기정용 화살 역시 길드 군수품 관리인에게 구매할 수 있습니다.
Offensive defense members? Pog? Shy's placing annexes being useful? What?
다른 부속 건물인 코끼리 사육소는 길드의 든든한 탑승물 코끼리를 전장에 참여시킬 수 있는 부속 건물인데요. 건설이
Oh, what did that say? Anyways, you can bring your Ellie, okay?
코끼리를 전장에 참여시킬 수 있는 부속 건물인데요. 건설이 완료된 이후
Once built, press function start, and after a certain period of time, okay? Yeah, this is standard. This is the same as it was before.
사전에 길드 제작을 통해 등록해둔 카드리아 코끼리를 전장에 합류시킬 수 있게 됩니다. 카드리아 코끼리는 높은 생명력을 바탕으로 성체에
Both high HP can deal damage to forts. Okay,
큰 피해를 입히거나 적 모험가에게 넓은 범위의 상태 이상을 가할 수 있습니다.
Okay, this is the same.
린치 대포는 먼 거리에
This is... It's kind of weird though, right? Using your Ellie nursery, just build your Ellie nursery in like the middle of nowhere, but like if your Ellie takes time to build, it says it takes time to build it. You're able to deploy a cadre outfit, which must be registered via guild crafting beforehand and join the fight on the battlefield. Okay, so it looks like instead of letting your Ellie craft, it looks like your Ellie might just come out immediately. Like you literally put down the annex and it just comes out. I think that's probably a win. You don't have to sit there waiting for it. I don't think there's any way you could defend an annex like this. So. It's still 5 minutes? I don't know. Did you get confirmation on that?
카드리아 코끼리는 높은 생명력을 바탕으로 성체에 큰 피해를 입히거나 적 모험가에게 넓은 범위의 상태 이상을 가할 수 있습니다. 린치 대포는 먼 거리에 있는 적 모험가나
Can we come up with a different name for the cannon?
부속 건물, 성체 등을 공격할 수 있는 병기로 길드 군수품 관리인 NPC를 통해 린치 대포 조립 세트를 구매해 설치할 수 있습니다. 포탄은 직접 집을
Okay, so cannons are the same thing. It looks like, I guess they must have a build time, at least for cannons, because you have to like build multiples of them.
공원도로 구매해서 공성무기 제작소에서 제작하거나 길드 군수품 관리인에게 대포탄, 화염포탄을 구매해서 사용할 수 있고 설치 가능한 개수도 지정돼 있습니다. 부속 건물과 길드 탑승물 중에
They said you could buy cannonballs from the supply vendor, like the good cannoneers all made their own cannonballs. Hopefully you can still make your own cannonballs.
는 전략적인 전진 기지로 활용되는 요소도 있는데요. 바로 불퇴의 깃발과 길드 갤리선입니다.
Yeah, little known fact, you can actually spawn at the guild galley. If you're fighting a base that's really close to the ocean, you can just put your guild galley out in the ocean and your guild can respawn there like it's a flag.
불퇴 깃발을 거점전 지역 내에 설치하거나 길드 갤리선을 거점전 지역 내부에
Just like that.
위치시킬 경우 거점전에서 사망하더라도 근처 마을이 아닌 전진 기지의 위치에서 부활할 수 있게 됩니다. 근처의 여러 마을뿐만 아니라 다양한 방향에서 색다른 전략을 펼쳐볼 수도 있겠네요.
Okay, interesting.
치열한 전투와 짜임새 있는 전략을 통해 거점전에서 승리했다면 어떤 보상을 획득할 수 있을까요? 우선 종료 시간까지 점령한 성체를 지켜내는 데 성공했다면 해당 거점 성체가 속한 영지의 세금을 일정 부분
Exactly the same as before.
나누어 받습니다. 이 세금은 길드 자금이 되어 길드원들에게 길드 버프를 제공하거나 길드 장려금으로 길드원에게 은화를 지급해주는 등 모험가님의 길드의 소중한 자원이 됩니다. 길드 보상이 있다면 개인 보상도 있어야겠죠? 거점 성체에 따라 많은 은화를 획득할 수 있는 금괴를 포함해 다양하고 강력한 아이템들을 획득할 수 있습니다. 일회성 보상뿐만 아니라 거점 성체에 따라 많은 은화를 획득할 수 있는 금괴를 포함해 다양하고 강력한 아이템들을 획득할 수 있습니다. 일회성 보상뿐만 아니라 일주일간 적용되는 특별
Okay, so the way they're explaining the buffs, guys, it sounds like they're doing away with the Node War vendor, and they're just going to give you, like, gold bars and buffs and stuff, which is strange. But, okay, sure. Yeah, I think it's a better way to do it. I think the Node War vendor was stranger. I think that was just a dumb way to give rewards for Node War. Like, why would you not just give us all of this stuff from the shop? Like, I don't understand. It's very strange. This special week-long buff, this is interesting.
버프 효과도 있습니다. 각 거점에 기운을 투자해서 거점의 레벨을 올리면 해당 거점에 속해 있는 사냥터의 몬스터 처치 시 아이템 획득 확률.
Okay, when you level up nodes with your energy, you receive an item drop rate buff of a maximum of 10%. This is standard, right? I thought it was 5% before. So I guess now it's 10% if you have the node at level 20?
확률이 최대 10%까지 증가하는 거점 투자 혜택이 있는데요. 거점전에서 승리하면 이
Okay, so it just doubles what you have. Okay, yeah. So, guys, you can invest energy into nodes. Normally it gives you a 10% buff at level 20. Now, if you own the node that's associated there, it'll give you a 20% drop rate buff instead of 10. Okay. Whoop-dee.
거점 투자
It should be 50. It should just be ridiculous. It should be obnoxious. Like, why not?
혜택이 2배로 적용돼서 아이템 획득
Give
확률이
incentive.
최대 20%까지 증가합니다. 게다가 이 효과는 거점이 아닌 영지 그룹 전체에 적용된다는 사실. 예를 들어 칼
Whoa. And this applies to the entire territory group. Hold up.
거점이 아닌 영지 그룹 전체에 적용된다는 사실. 예를 들어 칼평과 카마실비아가 속한 영지 그룹의 거점전에 신청해 승리했다면 일주일간 칼페온과 카마실비아 지역의 모든 거점 투자 레벨이 2배로 적용되는 효과를 얻게 됩니다.
Okay. So you're no longer really holding individual nodes, guys. Let's say you did a node war on Kama Sylvia. All of your Kama Sylvia nodes get that doubled buff that we just talked about. So if you have any invested like into Underground Glyphon and then you happen to win a node war on Kama Sylvia, boom, you have a 20% drop rate buff at Underground Glyphon instead of 10. Okay. It looks like oh, it's Kama or... Yeah, so if you win a Kama territory, guys, like let's say you win a Kama node war. Like I said, you're going to get the Kama Sylvia buff. Okay, you're going to get like the extra drop rate buff for any of the nodes in Kama Sylvia, but you will also get that drop rate buff for anything in Calpheon as well. Okay, so any of the nodes that you have at level 20 will be buffed to 20% instead of 10%, assuming you have one or you win one node war on one of the two regions.
모든 거점 투자 레벨이 2배로 적용되는 효과를 얻게 됩니다. 이 효과는 일주일 동안 지속되기 때문에
I still don't think it's high enough. It needs to be at least 30 or 40%.
그동안 다른 영지 그룹의 거점전에서 승리해 효과를 적용받는 영지를 넓히거나 동일한 영지 그룹의 거점전에 승리해서 효과를 갱신하는 것도 가능하겠죠? 이제 성체나 부속 건물을 미리 설치.
So what she just said there is if you win a node in all three of the regions, you have buffs. Basically, you just have a 20% drop rate buff across the board for any of the nodes that you have energy invested into.
하지 않고 활성화된 성체를 점령하는 방식으로 새롭게 개편된 검은 사막 거점전. 이와 함께 거점전 진행 중에도 야영지를 설치할 수 있게 되고 부활할 때 말도 함께 부활하며 거점전 보상이 흑정령의 선물함에 즉시 들어오도록 편리하게 개선됐습니다.
Oh, so your rewards go right into your Black Spirit safe. You don't have to go talk to a node war vendor, I don't think anymore, guys.
흑정령의 선물함에 즉시 들어오도록 편리하게 개선됐습니다. 새롭게 개편된 거점전에서 다양한 전략과 튼튼한 팀워크로 거점을 차지하고
It's an interesting situation that we have here.
길드원들 간의 특별
Yeah, we get it. Okay, here's the video here, guys. I'll give it a thumbs up. Let's read through the rest of the patch notes. I still have a lot of questions. There's still a lot of questions about some of the specifics on some of this stuff. Like, does your LE come out immediately? Is there a build time on cannon? Stuff like this. So we're going to kind of go through this. I won't, like, comb through it because we did just watch the video on it. I'm not sure how these node war changes are really going to help, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Based on how they described how it's going to work, I think exactly what I said is going to happen. And unless you have an overabundance of guilds dropping on the same node together, there's not going to be any, like, there's no reason to fight each other, right? And there's also a way for the cartel or like guilds to gang up on other guilds. So like, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is guild 1, this is guild 2, this is guild 3, this is guild 4. Okay, if there's only 4 guilds on the node and guilds 1 and 3 do not like guild 2, they can just push guild 2 off and keep them from taking that node. But really, there's no reason for these 4 guilds to fight each other, if like at all. There's no reason for any of these guilds to fight each other if there's only 4 guilds on the node. If there happens to be a 5th guild on the node, well, then it's just the person that nobody likes, or the weakest guild can't take any of the points. And again, they're just inting. Everyone's farming them until they decide to leave. Like, I don't really see, like, technically if there's like 6 guilds on the node, I could see this working. Because see, then 5 and 6 could hit 2 and then try to take the node. Then 2's got to try to battle back, and like there would be a constant fight going on. But understand, that's only at one node. That's only at this one. Like you understand that like the rest of these people don't get to fight. So we'll see. We'll see. I want to clarify some of this stuff. Like, to me, that seems like what is going to happen here, but I'm sure that there's more explained in here. Read the notes. I'm gonna read the notes. It'll be fine. Progression day, Sunday through Friday. Progress time based on KR. Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, also, I don't like this. I think that this is way too big of a jump. 550 gear score takes... God, how long does that take, guys? I would say you can hit 550 gear score in 1 week. Maybe 2 weeks. We'll say 2 weeks generously. Right? For like a below, like a casual... Yeah, like, no, I get it. I understand, guys. I'm just being generous, okay? Like 1 day, though. Realistically, like a day. 685 gear score is going to take them probably the next 3 months. Okay? And then in order to go to uncapped, it's going to take them the next year of their life. Okay? This just doesn't seem like these jumps. I don't know, man. I like the jumps before. I like the T3, T4 before. I think that this is to 685 is kind of a leap from 550. You're basically staying on the 550 forever. And there's like, I feel like players will despair because they're like, well, I have no reason to get gear because I'm never going to get to 685. So like, I'll just log in for Node Wars, and then they eventually quit. I see that all the time. If 4 guilds sign up, only 2 forts can be placed. Well, if that's the case, then again, we have a cartel situation. Yeah, understand that you still have a cartel situation in that case. Like, how does that solve their politics problem? If there's 2 forts, guys, and there's 4 guilds, then the 2 strongest guilds take these forts, and they work together to defend them. Like, or the 3rd guild just works together to help them, and then, like, the 4th guild just gets anyway. Well, I don't know. It's because people in... this is supposed to solve the KR politics issue. I don't see how this solves the politics issue. They're still going to keep handing it to each other. It honestly helps the cartel. Before, the cartel had to drop 3 guilds on 1 node, and then 1 of them got the node. Now, they can drop 3 guilds on 1 node, and 2 of them will get the node. Right? We'll see. This is also a serious problem where, like, there are smaller guilds that can field 50 to 70 people. In fact, that's typically how it works. Like, if you're like a really good new and returning player guild and you can field 50 people, you have to bench half your guild because you have no options. It's only a 35 man. Only 35 people can go to Node War. And what about all those T1 guilds that can't field 35 people? Okay, well, they can't Node War anymore, right? Like they can only bring 20 people. They'll never get a node. The other guilds will just kill them. So I think 35 is, whew, man. Whew. It's tough for a lot of guilds to, like, it's not really, it doesn't make anybody happy. It's like a compromise. It's like they looked at it and they compromised. Some guilds can pull 50 to 60 people when they're in T1s, right? Like, because they're a super active guild or whatever. And then the other guilds can only pull like 20, 25. And those guilds will never beat the guild that can cap every time. And the guild that can cap every time is constantly benching half their guild. And if they try to go to the 70 man, well, they don't have enough gear to do that. So they just get completely obliterated. On top of that, I'm not sure that there's very many guilds that can actually pull 70 people. I'll keep it a buck. This is almost even worse because at the 685 gear score cap, which is where most of the guilds are going to be dropping for the Node War scene, most of those guilds cannot pull 70 people. I can list on one hand the number of guilds that can pull 70 people to any Node War during the week. That's usually Cho, Corrupt, and Digi. Sometimes Corrupt can't do it, but like Cho, Corrupt, and Digi can do that. Maybe you could say that one or two other guilds could do it if it's like a special day or whatever, but like this is really hard, and it's very difficult for a lot of guilds to pull together, and there's just not this many people that can do Node Wars at this gear score consistently like this. So like you're gonna end up with a lot more people doing this because like they have to, because they can't cap the 70 man and they don't want to get zerged. I don't know, that's gonna be a little rough. And then no one is gonna do this. No one is going to do the 100 man. Nobody can pull 100 people to Node War. Those nodes are dead. The only reason to do that is to try to snipe a node, which you can't do anymore. Which there's no real reason to snipe nodes anymore because again, you're all getting nodes over time, right? Like, yeah, this is rough. This is rough. Valano, Serenia, AP, DP. Okay, all right. So yeah, 550 gear score. What you guys need to know is it's 550 gear score, 685 gear score, and then like 720. Those are like the jumps. Oof. Yeah, I just think that you exclude a lot of guilds are just not going to be super happy. Although it will make it a lot easier. To their credit, it will make it a lot easier to Node War. It's a lot easier on the leaderships, but no one's happy in this case. Let's keep reading. The goal of the Node War. Through battle with adventurers, other guilds, the objective is to occupy fortresses and win by defending it until the end of time. Okay. Okay, here we go. Node Wars will be held by territory, not by existing Node War area. So this map's going away. This is not going to happen anymore. Is that correct? Well, actually, this is the new map? Why is that on the corner? Maybe this is the new map, and like when you spawn in, it's okay. All right, so it's gonna spawn you at a nearby town. If there are 10 guilds on the node, 8 forts should spawn in, or something like that. Okay, and like 8 of these will get used. Right, like 8 of them will get used. And you're fighting over those. Or 5, whatever. Guys, I'm just using it as an example, Bomb. Like, Jesus. I'm just using it as an example. I'm trying to explain it to the people that don't understand. Please shut the fuck up. But, like, essentially, no matter how many guilds drop on a node, the whole region is up for grabs, but, like, the forts only spawn in at certain locations, depending on how many nodes are on the, are on the node. Okay, you're out for 7 days. See ya. Let's see. Activation of neutral fortress, according to participating guilds. Okay, depending on the number of guilds participating in the Node War in each territory, the number of nodes activated when the Node War starts varies. When I'm done with this react, you can untime him out. When I'm done with the react, you can untime him out. But I don't want him to talk anymore. Activated nodes are randomly selected every day. The node fortress designed for each territory. Okay. For example, when there are 3 guilds that have applied for the Node War and confirmed to participate in the Balanos region, 1 fort will be activated. Okay, so 3 guilds are fighting over 1 fort. Then I feel like you're just zerging the 1 guild on repeat. Right? Like, I feel like then you're just zerging the 1 guild on repeat over and over and over again. And, like, if the 2 guilds are smart, they will actually just wait until, like, 15 minutes before or until they have to and then go fight for it and then just try to snipe it. And then you just try to hold on for, like, the few minutes that are remaining. No, because they can't zerg you back. No, they will immediately zerg you back. If you knock the guild in the middle out, then they're working with the other guild to kill you. You're always being zerged. It's always a 1v2. When there are 4 guilds that have applied for the node, 2 forts will be activated. That's fine. Then it's just a 1v1. That's okay. When there are 5 guilds that have applied for the war, only 2 forts will be activated. That is interesting. That's interesting. I think that one's good. When there are 6 guilds that have applied for a node war and are confirmed to participate, 3 forts will be activated. And it's a 1v1 again. Okay. The number of guilds confirmed, and honestly, it doesn't have to be a 1v1. Like, you can switch targets and try to snipe a node at the last minute. That's interesting. I mean, there's definitely some strategy that goes into this, guys. If if you're not making much progress on your 1v1, you can just basically keep tabs on how the other fort is doing, and then just run over there and kill it. Like, the other guild pushes in, it gets really low, they think they have it, and then you just come over and sweep it out from under them. That's gonna feel really bad, but like also, yeah, there's some strategy that goes into this. It might be interesting a little bit. You can also siege the different forts with your like siege like mechanics and stuff. The number of guilds confirmed to participate in each territory ranges from a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 30. And the number of forts activated according ranges from a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 15. Interesting. I think T1 node wars are going to be crazy. I think the T1 node war scene is going to be like the best one. I think that all the rest of them are kind of suck a little bit, but like the T1 node war scene is going to go crazy. Like, yeah, like T1s are going to be so much fun, guys. Like the 550 gear score, 35 people participating, absolute clown fiesta, because there's always like 11 forts on every T1 node at a minimum right now, and that's with multiple T1 nodes. Now it's only like 1, guys. Now there's going to be like 30 forts on a T1 node, and there's all these people everywhere. That actually might be a lot of fun. I don't see the 685 and the, like, especially the 100 man. I don't think that's going to be as fun because there's just not enough guilds to make that relevant. But I think T1s, this system actually kind of works, guys. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I think for T1s, this actually makes T1s more interesting. It makes it fun, you know what I mean? But like you're just basically putting everybody on the same node and letting the clown fiesta commence. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty cool. I don't really like the 685. Everybody above like T1, T2, those probably not gonna have a great time because there's just not enough guilds to really make this system work. And then like the guilds that there are, it's really obvious who's gonna hold it, right? So here's the thing. Let's say that 3 guilds drop on a node, guys. Let's say that it's Show Nation who holds the fort, and then there's Peko, an isolated alliance. What are they gonna? They're just gonna walk. Show Nation's just gonna farm them for like the full time. They're just gonna walk away. There's not gonna be a fight here. They're not. Cho's gonna take the fort and then they're just gonna walk away. Like that's basically how it's gonna go. Or they're just gonna int the whole time and only Cho gets to have fun. I don't know. I just don't see it as being fun for like the 685 uncapped group. I don't think there's enough guilds. I think that if there were a lot of guilds that did that, I think it would be actually the system actually might work really well. And I think that that's why it will work well for T1s, but like I don't think that it works for the rest of them. The tiers of node war fortresses are activated are as follows, and the end time is set randomly for each fortress. Okay. All right, so minimum 10 minutes, maximum 60 minutes. We did not get this change, and corruption confirmed it. So like ours must, if we get these changes, and I'm not saying that we will, ours would be 20 minutes to 2 hours. When a node war begins, you can check the number of activated nodes by remaining on the node war map. Okay, so you can literally see the fort health of the enemy forts, it looks like, at any point. So you can just go over and snipe forts. Ah, God, that makes it... Oh, that doesn't really... Oh, man. God, that feels really bad. Like, if you're pushing a fort over and over again and then another guild comes and takes all your hard work, that's really annoying. Oh, man, that's annoying. Like, also, if your fort just never takes health... The trick is to not be the weakest link, guys. No one's going to come to your fort if you're at full health. You'll be fine. But if you're the weakest link of the group, you're sitting on a casting couch. Like... It's the timer, not the health. Oh, if it's the timer... If this is the timer... That's okay.
Thesilty Sailor just resubscribed for 4 months.
But even still, you could just have somebody riding around checking the fort healths of all the forts on the node. That's exactly what people are going to do. any decent guild is just gonna have somebody ride around and be like, hey, what are all the forts at? Okay, let's go to that one. Okay, let's snipe that one. You know what I mean? Everyone's just gonna be trying to snipe like the lowest health one. The Salty Sailor, welcome back for 4 months, man. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much, buddy. Destruction of a fort. After a node war begins, if you attack an activated neutral fort and remove all of its durability, the guild temporarily occupies the fort. Okay. The guild that occupies the fortress can see the fortress in blue on the world map. All guilds that participate in the node war can check what guild is occupying the fortress and the node status. In this state, if a fort is attacked by another guild and the durability of the fort is used up again, that guild will temporarily occupy the fort again. Okay, yeah, makes sense. All right, so if you're the final owner of the fort, you're good to go. You take the node repairs, so you still polish stone, guys. It looks like Balanos is going to have Kron Castle, Awagio Hill, Forest of Plunder, Western Gateway, and Tuscany Farm. Oh no, actually, there's just a ton of them. Yeah, it's T1 through T5 for all of them. So like, yeah, these are like the standard nodes anyway. So it looks like they're just going to put a fort on each node. Okay, that's fine. Sure. Camp setting rules. Yep, you can use your tent now. All people's tents are hidden now. So you can't see other people's tents, which is good. Helps with lag. It means you can repair your gear as you go. You can use the campsite 10 minutes before the start of the war, or even while the node war is in progress. That's the big change there. Command Together and Resurrection changes. The Come Together is automatically displayed in the upper right corner of the screen 10 minutes before the start of the node war. Okay, yeah, so 10 minutes before the start of the node, you can kind of position yourself ahead of time. This helps with lag, and again, not everyone pushing it at the same time, so less crashes. This is good.
Hey, girl.
W
hey,
change.
Girl. Hey, girl.
What's up, Flypad? How you doing, man? I'm gonna turn off redeems for now, guys, until I finish this. Resurrection. It has been improved so that during a node war, dead mounts are also revived. Yeah, when you spawn. If a character dies during the node war, the resurrection location can be selected at the designated coordinates of the town for the territory. Okay, so yeah, you have to spawn at town, guys, but you can choose which town you're spawning at. There should be an outpost spawn too. They did talk about flag factories. So yeah. Annex buildings and siege weapons. Okay, yeah, the only question I have in the annex building, remember, the annexes can be built anywhere now, guys. So you can use your Hawacha to siege an enemy fort, theoretically speaking, in this case. The flame towers are kind of, like, you just use them to protect the Hawacha. The Hawacha is the thing doing the damage to the fort. I guess is kind of how people are going to do it. The ballista, I don't know. The ballista is only a siege thing. I don't think that you can use those in war. The maximum number of cannons that you can be installed on a node war is 2. Okay, so you can only have 2 cannons. But there are still cannons, there are still LEs, and now defense members are actually going to have to learn how to play the game because they have to walk with the offense ball and place annexes. That's pretty cool. Like, now defense has to be, like, protected. They feel like a more integral part of the node war. I think that's honestly a W change, guys. The fact that you can place annexes to, like, siege enemy forts, I think is kind of cool. It's going to be kind of hard to set them up, but, like, it gives defense a purpose when they don't have a fort. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of neat. During the Annex Node Conquest War, the installation time of auxiliary buildings installed during the Node War construction tool has been adjusted from 15 to 5 seconds. Oh my god. Rebuilds go down in 5 seconds? What? That's crazy. Okay, so it's impossible to stop rebuilds. 5 seconds is crazy, guys. It's basically impossible to stop someone from putting a structure down. That's insane. I don't know. I don't know. The implications of that are... It's tough to stop them from rebuilding annexes. Like, because you have to regroup at town spawn and then run out to the node. If they're... I don't know. I think 5 seconds is fine. It just makes it... Oh, man. The cannoneers are going to have to be on point, man. That's all I'm going to say. That's fine. Time to create a flag under construction is 10 minutes. Ooh, it's adjusted from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. So flags are now 5-minute timers, guys. 5-minute timers. That means that the T1 guilds will now get made fun of from the 5-minute mark instead of the 10-minute mark for not pulling out their flag the entire node war. That's pretty cool. We take those. That's a W. So more outpost spawns. There's way more flags, guys. Way more flags. That's twice as many flags per node war for every guild. That means that you basically have to 1 push a flag or 2 push a flag, or they're just gonna have another flag ready. Be a little rough. Although they could just snipe your flag factory, right? You have to put, like, where do you, if you're the offensive guild, where do you put your flag factory? Just out in the middle of nowhere, and you just keep pulling the flag out, just like, hopefully nobody, you just put it in a bush, like hopefully nobody sees it, then you just keep pulling the flags out and pulling them forward. Like, maybe that's once the node war begins, you can use auxiliary construction tools to construct and use auxiliary buildings anywhere in the node war area. Yeah, so it's, yeah, you can build them anywhere, guys. This is cool. Technically, you could do the old StarCraft 2 strategy with a planet. We called it the planetary fortress strat, where you flew a command center into the enemy base, dropped it, and then made a planetary fortress right in front of them. You just, okay. You could just drop an FT. If you're winning really hard, you just drop an FT right next to their Hawacha or something. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't know how, like, they have to spawn town. Like, oh my God. Guild funds 500 million silver. Never mind. No one is ever going to use annexes for any reason, guys. That's crazy. I take it all back. It's a terrible system. This is dumb as... What a bunch of idiots. Way to literally remove all of the fun. This has to be a typo. There's no way. It's got to be 500k. This has to be mistranslated. There's no way. It's got to be 500k, guys. There's no way it's 500 million. You'd be able to build 4. You'd use up all your profits from the node war building it. Like, there's no way. I don't believe it. 500k. It's probably 500k. Ellie Nursery, 10 million. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Wait, they're legit? Wait, this is legit? Like, what? That means to build a full base, the guild funds that you need are 1.5 billion plus the extra millions here. And by the way, people can 1-pump your flame towers and Hawatches. Bam! 500 mil guild funds. Gone. Vaporized. Straight to jail. This is... Whoever made this suggestion should be fired. The rest of these people, it remains to be seen. This is probably the same guy that made Awakening Megu and still does not actually have a passive indicator on Awakening Megu's passive, making it impossible for new players to learn the class. It's honestly impressive to me how long it's been, and there's still no passive indicator for the very quintessentially important Awakening Megu passive. Yet there's a passive indicator for whether or not your clone is out in succession. That guy needs to be fired. Honestly, that entire dev team that worked on it, fired. Bring in new people. Actually, just wild to me. Like, it's been 9 months. All they have to do is add a passive indicator, just like succession. It's critically important to Awakening. And this would have taken about 4 seconds of the design team. Guys, understand, you're winning about 2.5 billion silver in node war funds. If you win like a T1 node war, okay? You're winning like 2 bill. Maybe you win 4 bill if it's back tax, whatever. Like 4 bill being generous. But you're going to use up, in any one node war, I can see this using up, oh, I don't know, 6 flame towers and 3 Hawatches, which is all of your money. You can't even afford to place again. This is the dumbest. Like, what are we even doing? You're just discouraging guilds from participating. This is wild to me. That's crazy. 10 million silver is still expensive, but this is fine. If they made these 10 million, it would be okay. Okay, yeah, you have to spend a little money, but like, you know, you use 100, 200 mil in a node war. All right, it takes away a little bit from our money, but then your guild funds are basically useless. No guild is going to feel comfortable giving payouts or giving like that money back to the guild Because they have to have it for Node Wars, so they'll go bankrupt. Like, it's like 3 days of XL missions. Yeah, exactly, for one Node War. Like, what are we even talking about? Yeah, so this is what the new annex building thing is. I don't know. That guy didn't have 5-second build time, though. Watch. That's not 5 seconds. That's 15. Interesting. Benefits the occupying node tax. Okay, when occupying a node, you obtain the taxes accumulated in that node as guild funds. And then those guild funds are literally immediately demolished because you have to save them for the next node and you get taxed on them again. So those are useless. When occupying a node, you can obtain personal rewards depending on the level of the fortress. Acquiring personal rewards are put in your Black Spirit safe. Okay, let's see what they get. The scores at each battlefield that determine the adventurer's performance in the Node Conquest Wars are as follows. Destroyed the fort. Wait, what? Okay. Among the guild members who participate in a node war, adventurers in the top 5% of active players or people in the war will receive additional items. Okay, so no one wants to listen to the shot caller anymore. Thanks, PA. That's great. Let's reward the jackass mercs that literally don't listen to anything and just go on frag out the whole time on like the weak guild. That's super intelligent. So you get points for killing people, guys. You get points for killing people with a siege weapon. Nobody cares about that though. You get points for killing a fort. You get 20 points for killing a fort. Or no, you get node where you get 10. You get 10% for killing, or you get 10 for killing a fort that's occupied, it looks like. And then before occupation, whoever kills it gets 20 points. Destruction of gates. So you get 15 points for killing a gate. Yeah, that's a little rough. I'm okay. I'd be okay with like rewarding the top fragger, but like the problem is this is basically just going to encourage people to go off on their own and kill people. I don't know if they thought that entirely through. Double node investment benefits. Okay, so we talked about the investment benefits. You're going to get 20% instead of 10% if you have invested energy into a node on the entire region that you took the node on, plus the other regions. So if you took a node on comma, you'll also get the Calpheon buffs too. No, it doesn't look like the losing guild. They didn't say anything about the losing guilds. Yeah, they have said nothing about rewards for guilds that get nothing. If you lose the node war and yeah, well, maybe they'll say something about it before or later. The two guilds that consume the fighting spirit of Battlefield, Breath of Life, and Battlefield, but this is SOB, can only be used during node war if changed as follows. Used by consuming the spirit of battle while temporarily occupying a fort. Okay, so spirit of battle is still a thing. You can use SOB still. This is really weird. I would assume that you can spawn at your occupied fort. They haven't explicitly said that, but like SOB would be completely useless if you couldn't spawn at the fort. So guys, I do think that you can probably spawn at the fort. That would make sense. But trap items is before. There's a maximum of 3 trap items that can be put down per person per war. Okay. Node War Fortress reset. And the reorganized node war, there's a possibility that the node war will be held in the designated node fortress. In the node fortress for each territory. Okay, we saw that before. The occupation information. Actually, you know what? Let me see what that. Let me peep that. Oh, these are all the different. Yeah, we already saw those. There's just like the different nodes that they can place forts on. Opportunity to participate in the node war. And the revamped node war is changed to allow participation in the node war without building a fort. And the opportunity system for participating in the node war changes as follows. The condition for returning opportunities. Okay, so essentially the second that your guild master says, we want to be on this region, you can all go yes up on that server for war. Boom. There you go. There's no more forts. Yeah. Conditions for the return of opportunity. Whoa. Conditions for return of opportunity to participate in Node Wars return if the total number of kills and deaths in the guild of the adventurer who participated in the Node War is 100 or more. Okay, so you have to get 100 kills to be able to participate the next week, which should be easy to do since you don't have a fort anymore. It's kills and deaths. So like if you don't get a node or whatever, you're like the odd man out. You can basically just run it down 100 times and you'll be fine. That honestly is good because like you can't lock guilds out really anymore. They have to lock them. They'd have to leave the node war early. Regardless of the territory, you can participate in the occupation battle if you succeed in conquering even one final location. Okay, yep. You just need one node war or one node. In the reorganized node war, the occupation nodes are reset every day. But regardless of this, you can participate in the conquest where you occupy when you occupy one or more nodes from Sunday to Friday. You can check whether you can participate in the conquest war in the G menu. Okay. War of the Roses battlefield score. When the fortress is completed in Node War, the War of the Roses battlefield points earned for each tier of the territory are as follows. Okay, so the Balanos Serendia, you don't get anything for War of the Roses. Calpheon and Kama, you'll get more based on the tier of node. Wait. Why are there 5 tiers? I thought there were only 3 tiers. What's this? Am I going crazy, guys? I thought it was just 550, 685, and then uncapped. What's a tier 3, tier 4? What is that? I think those are the tier of the fort. Well, they said that there were only like caps. Like we went over this. Like they went over it in the thing. They said there's only 3 caps. But see, now there's 5. In here, there's 5. Oh, it's the tier of fort you take. I see. I see. Okay, so the T1 forts are the ones that you take at 10 minutes. The T2 forts are the ones that you take at 20 minutes, etc. And then you go up to T5. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so it's still the same caps though. Like the caps, don't get confused, guys. The caps are still like now 685 and uncapped basically. 550, 685 and uncapped. Okay. Node war progression time. Guild membership is restricted from 20 to 22. Occupation progress time. Restriction of joining guilds and creating alliances from 18 to 24. Okay. Sure. Node war background music. Wait, they made new music? Along with the reorganization of node warfare, one type of existing background music that adds to the fun of the node war will be changed to a slightly newer feel. We also changed the playback and the order of the background music to add a little bit more of the... Okay, let's see. Or not. That's fine. I didn't want to see it anyway. That's fine. I didn't want to hear it anyway. It's okay. Hold up. All right, poggers. Bro, wait, this song is gaming. That's sick. I want to hear the end. That's sick. That's really good. These are the old ones. Yeah, these are the existing ones. Oh, this one sucks. Oh, I hate that one. Yeah, I don't like that one either. The new one is a banger, though. The new one's a banger, guys. Huge W. Whoever made that, big dub. Honestly, we love that. That's sick. Other changes. All right, content changes. An issue where the effect or the sound was lost or misaligned when another adventurer was playing near the place where the performance was played has been fixed. Oh, okay, so I guess that's for music. Agris Essence. You can now check the Agris Essence accumulated in each piece of equipment to activate the Ancient Anvil. You can check this number by checking the description of the equipment you own on the integrated exchange. Okay, so they added, yeah, they added the pity system. You can now see the pity system, guys. Like when you're on the market, you can see how many attempts you have. That's good. W change. The roulette has been proved so that the roulette does not proceed when opening the Imperial Trace Material item box when the Trace of Nature can be obtained. Okay, yeah, whatever. That's the combined thing. Quest and knowledge changes. Battles with bosses encountered as you progress through the Jordan Saga have been improved to provide a greater sense of immersion. The battle difficulty has also been adjusted to acquire an appropriate use of attack, defense, and evasion equipment against monsters and target adventurers with more diverse behavior and attack patterns. In cases where the progress is difficult, you can enjoy the fun and growth of battle by strengthening your equipment with items acquired during your adventure. This is a huge W change. To be honest with you, I think the bosses were really basic. I think what you need to try to showcase if you're doing the main story for BDO is why the people love the game so much. That's the combat. The bosses allow you to kind of get involved in the combat a little bit. Don't make them too hard, but like they make them hard enough that people have to, you know, like they feel accomplished when they beat it. I think that's good. That's cool. Some bug fixes. The issue where a lens color was occasionally exposed transparently when wearing round metal glasses has been corrected. Okay, yeah, so these are just outfit stuff. Okay, guys, those are the Node War changes. Yeah, we kind of stumbled through that, but like we're still not sure if NA and EU is going to get these changes, guys. They're still talking like this is like a 10 to 60 minute like Node War, and we didn't get the 10 to 60 minute Node War change, so we're not sure if we're actually going to get these yet. I am skeptical. They said various regions were going to get them. They could mean Asia and like KR and Japan and stuff, or they could mean NA and EU as well. We're not entirely certain. But regardless, I will get together the United Nations of BDO, as it were. I'll call together all the streamers of all the various regions, and we'll talk it out. So make sure that you guys are around for that, because we ask chat for a lot of opinions during that podcast. And like you guys get to have a voice there. It's not just the streamers talking to each other; it's the streamers communities also kind of talking with each other. It's a very cool podcast in my opinion, but I'll ping them tonight. Yep. All right, boys, that's the global app patch changes. That's a lot of changes, boys. That's a lot of changes. I know it seems very confusing.